a lot of you know how selective Stanford University is. Can you imagine teaching at Stanford University? You're sort of like the creme de la creme, and you're teaching business. So listen to Dave Dodson very, very closely, the Stanford School of Business. Schmatty pants. Professor, it's a weird day, right? We have stocks advancing in the face of inflation that's not quitting. There are all sorts of mercurial reasons for that. I get that. But this notion that inflation isn't quitting, even in the face of all these hikes that aren't stopping, does it surprise you?
It was a crazy day, actually, the way people reacted. And I'll tell you how I think maybe this reaction was what it resulted from. You know, when the numbers first came out, I actually think the year-over-year comparison, we know that a hamburger costs more now this year versus last year. But it was the July, August, September increases month after month after month that I think was concerning to a lot of people. And it should be. But the reason for hope is this: the producer price index, which is a leading indicator, is coming down. Job openings are coming down. Job creation is coming down, and the unemployment rate is holding steady or increasing a little bit. Why is this important, Neil? It's important because of this. The Fed raises interest rates because what they want to do is they want to make it less attractive for people like you and me to buy things. So we buy less things, prices go down. But what's been happening this whole year is because with full employment, when that happens, people have just gone to their bosses and said, give me a raise. And the bosses have had to say, yes, I'll give you a raise. So we've had this very odd wage price spiral that has been created by Fed raising rates. However, there's evidence to suggest that that is going to end soon as the unemployment market, or the employment market, excuse me, starts to cool down. And I actually think that that's the most important number to watch right now.
All right, so if we had this celebrated backdrop, the president has pointed it out, as you know, Dave, where the job environment is really good. And it's very different from the comparable period where we had so-called stagflation during the Carter years. All good. But if that's limited, is the Federal Reserve risking continuing to hike rates, because they seem to be betting on a 3/4 point hike next month and a 3/4 point hike after that, that it's overdoing it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the vice that the Fed is in, is we keep thinking, okay, well, we'll just keep turning interest rates up until inflation goes down. What's happening is as we turn interest rates up, people just go and they get raises. And in fact, wage increases have almost kept up with inflation. And so I actually think, you know, along the lines of what you were saying, Neil, I actually think the Fed needs to just back off and let things cool down, because what I'm worried about is if they raise rates again, that means that your mortgage rate's going up, your car loan's going up, business costs go up. And so they're actually, because they're raising the cost of money, they're going to end up raising inflation on their own.
Let me ask you, you teach and do some of the brightest minds in the country. And I'm just wondering how they're reacting to all of this. I've had a lot of young people that I work with here, to say nothing of those who come in and out of the building, and they want to know, all right, well, what does the environment look like now? And I tell them it stinks. Don't even go into this profession. Go. They don't listen to me. They still go into the profession. But having said that, young people are seeing a lot of this for the first time. Inflation like this for the first time. Markets that don't always go up for the first time. How is their psyche?
It's very interesting. You know, they're seeing inflation really for the first time in their life,
right?
Because the last time it was really bad was in the 70s and 80s. And so they don't understand how inflation can really eat away at consumer purchasing power. Meanwhile, they're living in this employment market where if they don't like their job, they go on LinkedIn and they go find another job to make more money. So this employment market has insulated themselves from the cost of inflation, and they don't have the historical background that a lot of us have to see how bad inflation can be.
Yeah, I try to tell them. I don't know, maybe once or twice I've raised this issue, Professor. When my wife and I got our first mortgage, oh, you know this story, it was 13.5%.
Right.
And I hear kids today, you know, 6.5, getting close to 7%. Uh-oh, perspective is everything, I guess, right? I feel very old saying that.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, mortgage rates are double what they were about a year and a half ago.
And that's
increasing people's cost of living quite a lot.
You're right. It's what you're used to. And if you were used to 3.5%, now it's getting 7%. Very, very different. That was then. This is now. Dave Dodson, great seeing you again, my friend.